Oh no, oh, no, 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 no. Oh no. What is this problem? Go JoJo. Go JoJo. Oh my, oh, those combos. Make him cry like a baby. Bro, you had this coming so bad, it's not even funny. So bad. Bro, that's too far. Oh, oh my god. Why would anyone say that first episode was bad? So suffice it to say, the first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure sent me through a roller coaster of emotions. With that being said though, it was really good. Let me start this off by saying I've heard a lot of things about this show that discourage me from watching it. Things like, oh, this show is boring, or skip to part 2 as it's much better there, which honestly didn't make much sense. I feel like, why would you watch part 2 over part 1? Because part 1 tells you the beginning of the story. I don't know, it was really weird why everyone was saying watch part 2 first, but I guess everybody just thinks that's better than part 1. But that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyways though, after watching the first episode, I don't understand the statements of it being boring at all. From beginning to end of episode 1, I was enticed all the way through. As mentioned earlier, I went through almost every emotion imaginable during just the first episode. I was shocked, angry, happy, excited, sad, and more. The only thing I wasn't overly fond of was the animation / art style, but it works so well for what the show conveys and the character personalities that I can easily overlook it. Alright, so let's jump into the story of the first episode. It starts off with the Joestars in an accident and the mother dies, but the father and baby Jonathan live. When George Joestar comes to, he mistakes Dario Brando as his savior and feels he owes him a life debt. Then some creepy mask starts moving, and at that point, I just had to know what that mask does. As soon as I see something kind of creepy like that, I'm just like, okay, that is some weird demonic power. What is it gonna do? Who's gonna wear it? Who's gonna become the overlord of this show? Like, I immediately needed to know. Our two main characters, Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando, nearly immediately make you feel bad for both of them, as they appear to have disapproving fathers. The irony here being Dio was the one you felt more bad for. Like, seriously, that was such a deflection.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
Now, JoJo's father is your typical snobby parent trope character. As much as I hate the snobby parent tropes in movies and shows, there's always so much satisfaction when the parents eventually get put in their place. You can tell right off the bat that JoJo goes along with it because he wants his father's approval and that he is a good guy just pressured into being something he doesn't want to be. At least that's my impression. If I have that wrong, feel free to let me know down below. But it just seems like the situation where JoJo wants to be a nobleman because his father wants him to be one, not because he actually wants to be one. Not to say that he doesn't want to be a good guy or a gentleman, for example, but I feel like his father is overly pressuring him into being this person that he doesn't want to be. Now, looking at Dio's life, it really doesn't take long to see how Dio turned out the way he did, given his father was a terrible drunk, thief, and led Dio's mother to an early grave. It seems the only good thing Dio's father ever did for him was give him an opportunity at a better life with the Joestars. I gotta say though, I was curious why such a greedy man like Dario didn't already cash in his ticket to the high life, given it had been 12 years. Now, of course, Dio is just meant to be a villain. This man stunned me when he first meets Jonathan and kicks his dog. I was like, oh, so he's a villain. What was worse was the gaslighting. My god, man. He goes on to abuse JoJo every moment he gets, from stealing his father's praise to humiliating him in public. The man is a menace. Like, he is a menace. I was really hoping JoJo was going to get some hits in during their fight, but while he had the skill, he lacked the confidence in himself to fully win that fight. To make things worse, this man not only stole his first kiss from the girl he likes, but smacked her to the ground on top of it. Dio is absolutely diabolical. He somehow one-ups himself on the atrocities he commits towards JoJo every single time. Alright, so I gotta admit something. I was cheering, when I tell you cheering, when JoJo started giving him those combos after he found out what happened with Arena. Man, JoJo was going in on this man. And the fact that Dio pulled out a knife because he was beaten and humiliated just made me laugh even more. Like, how can he do all that to JoJo and not expect to get what was coming to him? Anybody would reach their breaking point after everything he did to JoJo. I can't even begin to tell you how mad I was when his father called JoJo a coward. I was like, bro, this guy pays attention to nothing. How can you not know anything going on in your own house? That just shows how bad of a father he is. that you're not even asking what led to the fight. You're not asking how JoJo feels. And again, I know it's your typical anime terrible parent trope. It's just like super frustrating to watch. Okay, so just when I thought Dio couldn't be any worse, he kills the family dog. Like, I immediately knew the dog was in that box when I saw it in the match. It was so sad to see the dog bang on the box crying for help, and the butler did nothing. He did nothing but stand there. And after he killed the dog, I just knew that this was going to get so much worse between them. Dio has successfully ruined his life in such a short amount of time. Okay, so I haven't talked about the weird mask much. What I know so far is that it was clearly important as it was in a briefcase. Everybody knows when something's in a briefcase, it's obviously important. Then it sprouted spikes and moved on its own. Throughout the episode, it pans to the mask and gives off a creepy negative aura. Then it pops out during the fight the boys are having, almost as if it wants someone to put it on. The only guess that I have is that it's something demonic and gives some kind of power to the user. You guys remember the old movie The Mask with Jim Carrey? It's almost like it's the same situation, but so much worse. The big question is though, who ends up putting it on? Dio could seek it out due to his power-hungry nature, and Jonathan could seek it out in an attempt to get rid of Dio. Time will tell, I suppose. Now it ends with a 7-year time skip, and I have some theories before I continue watching the show. One being, Dio is going to get Jonathan cast out of the family, which will leave the fortune to him. To gain said fortune, he will murder the dad in some way that makes it look like an accident, thus successfully taking everything the Joestars have. Or, Jonathan will get sick of Dio and choose to leave the family on his own and end up with Irina, and we'll see some kind of storyline where he's off for a couple years and then him later coming back home after hearing of his father maybe being ill or dead. I could be completely off on both of those theories, but I figured it would be fun to let you guys know what I think is going to happen next. In summary, I know it's a big claim to say that it isn't boring given I've only seen the first episode, but honestly, it was enough for me to be intrigued by just how far this rivalry between Dio and Jonathan will go. Add in the mystery mask of doom, and I don't see how anyone could find the plot boring. The show is very humorous with its dramatization and flamboyance of the characters. They are able to get various emotional reactions out of you through the characters' personalities and actions, making you love or hate them, all at the same time of keeping you constantly engaged and wanting more. This is just my opinion, however. Let me know what you think of the show, and if you did find it boring, please do elaborate on how you came to that conclusion. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.